After 3 consecutive years of La Niña, 2023 brought changes to the Atlantic hurricane season. It was a battle between El Niño, which typically suppresses tropical activity in the Atlantic, and warmer than average sea surface temperatures that fuel storms. In the end, it ended up being a little bit of both.
So this year's was a really big forecasting challenge. It was kind of this battle of the titans.
In all, we had 19 named storms, including one unnamed subtropical storm in January of 2023. Of those, 7 were hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes, including yet another impactful unnamed storm. For the 7th year in a row, the U.S. Gulf Coast was hit by a major hurricane. Idalia made landfall as a Category 3 at Keaton Beach in late August, the strongest in the Big Bend of Florida in over 70 years. Storm surge reversed the flow of rivers and flooded the Tampa area.
This house was physically picked up by the storm surge and moved into the road here. You can even see part of the decking there.
Just weeks prior, on the opposite side of the Gulf, Tropical Storm Harold was the first U.S. landfalling storm of the season on August 19th at Padre Island, Texas. The storm formed quickly in the warm waters of the Gulf before moving on shore. Once again, the East Coast was a topic of tropical conversation. Ophelia was another short-lived tropical storm that developed off the coast of the Carolinas before making landfall at Emerald Isle and bringing storm surge to coastal North Carolina.
That's a major storm surge flooding from a river, and this is a good example of how you can have significant storm surge even when you're not on the open coast.
The strongest storm of the season, Hurricane Lee, managed to reach Cat 5 status over the open waters of the Atlantic in early September. Lee will be remembered, though, for its extremely close pass to New England, creating huge swells and coastal flooding in the Northeast. Lee went on to make landfall as a post-tropical cyclone in Nova Scotia. But Lee wasn't the only system to travel north of the border. In October, Philippe made a similar trek from the Caribbean to maritime Canada. There were more international impacts. In the Caribbean, our first landfalling system was Tropical Storm Brett in late June. In August, Tropical Storm Franklin made landfall in the Dominican Republic before rapidly intensifying into a Cat 4 passing by Bermuda.
It hasn't been like a super active season, but it has certainly met the above normal threshold. For 2023, fortunately, we did have that El Nino. Otherwise, the season probably would have just been, way even busier than it was.
In the end, 2023 ended up being above average in the Atlantic tropics, but will be remembered for landfalls in the U.S., Caribbean, and even the Canadian Maritimes. This season was a great example that just because it's an El Nino year doesn't mean the tropics will be quiet. For Weather Nation, I'm meteorologist Lucy Bergman.